Hey everyone, welcome back to Coding Content, the channel where we dive headfirst into the vast ocean of programming with all the grace of a cat pushed into a bathtub. Today, we're tackling a topic that might sound like the title of a sci-fi novel. Control flow explained. If, else, and whatever comes next. So, buckle up and let's steer this spaceship through the galaxy of logic. We all start coding hoping it's a straight path from point A to point B. But surprise, the universe isn't that simple, and neither is programming. Enter control flow, the set of instructions that lets your program decide whether it wants to take a left turn, a right turn, or just do donuts in a parking lot. It's all about making decisions, and sometimes making the wrong ones, just to see what happens. Yeah, we see you, chaos coders. Let's kick things off with the humble if statement. It's the bread and butter of control flow, the gatekeeper of logic. Imagine you're at a crossroads, and the if statement is the traffic light deciding whether you go or wait. If it's green, you move. If it's red, you sit there pondering life's mysteries, or just the syntax error you can't find. It's that simple. If checks a condition, and if it's true, your code takes that road. Otherwise, it waits, maybe forever, like that update you're supposed to install. But what if life throws a curveball, and the condition isn't quite true? Enter our savior, the else statement. It's like your plan B, or plan C if you're one of those super prepared types. It's your program's way of saying, well, that didn't work out. Let's try something else. So if you're feeling like your code is stuck in a dead-end job, just remember there's always an else out there waiting for you. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure book, but with slightly less dragons and more debugging. Now, for those of you who like to overthink things, and I know there are many of you out there, let's talk about else if. It's the middle child of the family, often overlooked but super important. Else if lets you add more conditions, more paths, more drama to your code's life story. It's like saying, if this, then that, but maybe this other thing, and if none of those work, let's just wing it. You can stack these else-ifs like pancakes, and hey, who doesn't love a good stack of pancakes? Unless you're gluten intolerant, in which case, I'm really sorry. And what about loops, you ask? Oh, loops. They're like that friend who just won't leave the party, repeating everything until someone finally tells them to go home. But we'll save that saga for another day, because today, we're focusing on the basics. Gotta walk before you can run, or in programming terms, gotta debug before you can deploy. So, when should you use these control flow statements? Well, it's like dating, you figure it out as you go. If and else are your first dates, simple, direct, and usually not too complicated. Else if is when things get a bit more serious and you're ready to explore all your options. The key is to keep practicing, keep experimenting, and remember, it's okay to mess up. Every else is an opportunity to learn something new. Think of control flow as the director of your code's movie, deciding which scenes make the final cut and which end up on the cutting room floor. And just like every great film, it's all about timing and execution. So, grab those ifs and elses and start directing your masterpiece. Before we wrap up, here's a thought. Every great coder has faced the dreaded syntax error after an else if. It's like a rite of passage. So when it happens to you, and it will, embrace it, laugh at it, maybe even cry a little. But remember, every error is a stepping stone to becoming the coding wizard you were meant to be. Alright folks, that's all we have for today's adventure into the wild world of control flow. Keep practicing, keep coding, and don't forget, in the world of programming, there's always an else waiting to catch your fall. Until next time, stay curious and keep those CPUs churning.